What
Hey,
up, guys?
fellas.
Hey, we're back.
If I had time, we literally stopped
Can you hear
Padres
me?
Shots up like
Can you hear
30
me?
seconds before here.
And I hear Mr. Craig Elston.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
We're all
great.
good.
Well, it's good to see you. And we literally stopped this show 30 seconds ago, so I didn't have time, and I didn't know it was sunglass night, or else I would have had the shades as well. I'm just that's where we are right now. Alex, how are you, my friend?
Doing well, doing a little bit better since Saturday. It felt like the rivalry that Cincinnati and Columbus have held is real. Yeah. I felt that. I felt that. So hopefully we feel better on a Monday afternoon, evening now.
Well, good thing we're all back. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Alex. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. You guys okay? You can hear us now?
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, we are A-okay. And it's one of these Monday things sometimes. It's daylight savings time for the internet here in South Bay. And I think
Gotcha.
the continental United States' most southwesternly sports podcast. I think.
Maybe.
I think. Well, welcome on in, guys. A lot to talk about here. Portland and San Diego FC. The saga continues and will continue once again this Sunday.
Two San Diego versus Portland games this weekend. This is the type of stuff that like legends get written about this weekend, one way or the other. One city will be very mad at the other at the end of this weekend.
That is true. Yeah, it's going to be a interesting weekend for San Diego and Portland fans.
¿Qué piensas, Craig? You got Portland versus Portland action, but I mean, you're the historian of San Diego sports.
Yeah.
Do we have any rivalries with Portland other than now soccer and its bitterness?
Well, as Alex knows, Portland used to be the AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres back in like the 90s or early 2000s. And that's about it for San Diego versus Portland, other than these last 2 weeks and specifically Sunday. And I've been very pro Portland. And unfortunately, now I have to hate them on Sunday. And I just saw that comment about no post-game show and you were pissed on Saturday. Well, I understand and sympathize, but I also want to respect the hustle of the SanDiego.Futbol crew that was out literally announcing a match till like past 10 o'clock that night, and thus unavailable for the platform. And by the time it was, everyone's home and whatnot, I think everyone was too pissed off and drunk at that point to do a show. But here we are today to be still pissed off, if not drunk, about this draw that all of a sudden feels like it just opens up a potential trapdoor for this entire season out of nowhere, out of Marcus Ingvartsen doing his Roberto Baggio impression and just flying it over the crossbar.
Oh man, yeah, and if one of those penalties, just gets in, I think we have a chance to get another round out of it, and potentially, yeah, we're talking about a clinching moment where we move on to the next round. Or I really think this isn't the worst news. We still have another game, and we have things to learn about. I think a lot of the Mikey Virus moves and the substitutions a little bit questionable late in that match.
Well, I mean, questionable, not even to tentearle, right? Where's the Mikey Varas part and the Right to Dream part start and end with this? But the way that it started, the lineup is the same. And this is where I don't know where it's okay to say that they're going for it all out and being smart about things and playing the same lineup 3 times in a row, playing the same thing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I understand that. But I don't know, where does this fit with everybody with the same lineup that now Portland has seen a third time? And this last time it was,
Look, I've talked about it before, right? And I think it's good for teams to rotate things a little bit, especially going into playoffs. We talk about it a lot when it's like World Cup time, right? And or playoffs for teams where you have to play a little differently than the group stage or than the season. You have to throw something in there to throw the other team off guard. I get playing to your style the whole way through, but it's playoffs. Everyone says the same thing. It's a different tournament. It's different than regular season. Okay, then you probably might want to try some different things as well. So that's just my take on that. I think repeating the same lineup is risky, but at the same time is who else do you throw in? Do you throw Luca de la Torre in that midfield? Do you maybe start Chucky Lozano because it's all good now, right? So why not start him?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was fine with this lineup when I saw it roll out at 5:30. And on CHROMANIACS 21, and I saw some folks on the YouTube comments thinking I was an idiot for it, but I thought Pellegrino should start the game and Chucky should come off the bench because it made sense for a team's rhythm and flow. Pellegrino's been really effective at the 7. Start him there, and then you've got Chucky as kind of that lightning bolt coming off the bench, and you didn't know if it was going to be rainy conditions. You didn't know what the match condition would be, but I think both of those things worked out to a T. I mean, if we thought that was the right process, you have to agree it was the right result. Pellegrino scored a goal in the first half, and then Chucky scored a goal when he came in the second half, and those are our 2 goals. So I felt like that aspect of it was terrific. The rest of the question becomes, okay, was it Baird that needed to come out? Can Pellegrino even work for minutes as a 9? Because pretty soon after that, he was out for Ingvartsen, and then Ingvartsen had, well, I don't know, what impact did you guys think he had on the match? I think it was pretty much a negative impact on the match.
I mean, considering that penalty at the end, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, and Ingvartsen, I think, has been an important thing that we've been talking about and thinking about for the entire season, but especially here at the end as they're trying to integrate him back in. He did not look great, and it's just such a weird decision to bring him on. Obviously, he's a high-played guy, so you're gonna trust him, but I really this entire season we haven't really seen what I think has been kind of told or promised. So it's a completely weird move, but they really don't have any other options up there. But I mean, this team too, we've been thinking about it all season. Are they going to be able to park the bus? It looked like they were definitely struggling with that, and obviously they end up conceding that final goal in the dying moments. It's just really tough ending for San Diego.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day, right? Like Mikey Varas is almost running out of options. There's injuries happening everywhere. Like we go to the game and we see how CJ Santos gets injured in this game. That's kind of like a big talking point, right? But they start out the game, and I told Tony before, and Alex, I'm curious if you agree. The first 10 minutes didn't look too great, and then from like minute 30 to like minute 60, maybe that's when San Diego was probably at its best. And Alex, just tell me, how do you feel like this game started out?
I mean, super aggressive from Portland. You could tell by just the high pressing they were doing. It was. I mean, right off the bat, you kind of put Manodou in a corner. He tries to make a pass, tries to get around Velde, and that didn't work. You already have a shot on goal within the first minute of the match, and it kind of snowballed after that, where the pressing, the pressure, the fouling continued. Yeah, they just were ready to push and shove their way into a goal. And when you see that first goal get made, yeah, Anthony went up against Chris McVeigh, and McVeigh did not win. Poor positioning, and that gave Anthony the little pass back to Velde to get that shot off. And yeah, I mean that kind of set the tone from there.
Well, I mean, you see a post in the 8th minute. Portland could have scored a lot faster than they actually did. And in my history in just covering sports and playoff games, this is what you expect on the road, especially when a team is facing elimination. You expect them to come out with absolute adrenaline, combined with focus, and to be the most dangerous team. And it's always a matter of weathering that storm. And they got there. Usually I would say for soccer, it's 20 minutes, like for hockey, it's like the first 10 minutes of the game. For soccer, it's 20. And there it is, 18th minute loose and a well-struck goal for 1-0 Portland. But honestly, and you heard the players say it afterwards too, Tony, they were disappointed with their effort for SDFC. They let Portland come out and take control of the match. My only response to that is like, you're not Superman. Portland is out there, grown men getting paid too. You had to expect that. They almost weathered it, but they didn't.
Yeah, and it's almost like, my fellow trading card game people would maybe understand this, but just like a field spell card where Portland in Providence Park in playoffs, it's a different thing. It's a different animal. And, it's one of these things where it's a little, it's a little bit of magic. And there was a little bit of magic in the air for Portland. And they definitely rode that wave and just that momentum that really carried them through and kind of stunned San Diego FC for the first couple minutes. Mikey Vadas in the midweek did say that, hey, if we do make mistakes, it's not gonna take a long time for this team to adjust. And that's exactly what they did. They were able to adjust. They were able to go ahead and despite the first, I think the first little injury to Manodua where it was a elbow, he goes down and you start to see Portland be a little bit more physical. And that's the nature of this playoffs stage where these players are getting, this is their livelihood. And some of these players are playing for their position. They're playing to keep living in Portland. Timbers is a great institution to be a part of. They want to live past this round. And, unfortunately for San Diego FC on the other end, you end up losing probably, it's your captain of the defense, CJ Dos Santos, the goalkeeper. Like he's integral to this team. We've seen what Pablo Cisniega does. I mean, I'll leave it for you guys, but like, he goes down and it's a pretty scary moment there.
It is.
That
I mean,
was horrible.
any head injury in particular, or any injury is going to be taken seriously, obviously, and especially head injuries. You never know what can happen. We've seen worst case scenarios in soccer before, where players are close to passing away or even pass away and then brought back to life. In the case of Eriksson a couple years ago, right?
Great job by the medical staff.
Yeah, so you never know what goes on with an injury, especially in the head. So it was definitely a scary moment. I do think it was the right call to take him out of the game for sure, and like everything like that. How many times have we seen players try to power through, but not this case? This was excellent.
Concussion and broken cheekbone
yeah.
are the updates on that for CJ Dos Santos.
It's safe to say that he's pretty much out the season.
4 to 6 weeks.
He's out for the year.
4 to
He's
6
out
weeks.
for the year.
I mean, it's done. Like it's a second head injury in this season. We saw him with the mask. We saw him be uncomfortable with the mask.
I mean, he
played
broke
on
a nose and a cheekbone in this season.
That's putting your body on the line as much as we can. I was looking at the footage and like there is a little bit of mistiming that he does in terms of that ball dropping when it drops. It's an excellent pass out of nowhere. Maybe how do you attack the ball? Like you have hands first, but now it's like moments and instances. And that's the goalkeeping. I was trying to explain to somebody. It's not a foul because that's a socceristic play.
Yeah, it's a soccer
Es
play.
una jugada futbolística. Those things happen in soccer, especially in that position.
I want to touch back a point that you were saying, Tony, and that this team, San Diego FC, is able to adapt quickly to things. And you saw it after this injury, right? A lot of teams, you can see it where they kind of like get shaken out or they kind of like psyched out of the game already. Mentally, they're not there anymore. And Portland could have taken advantage of that. San Diego FC does the opposite and turns it up a notch. They get a goal that's good, and then they get another goal that's called offsides, and essentially they're pretty much, it feels like they're ahead already. So I don't know what you all thought, especially with the Ahmad.
That's Craig's guy.
Goal.
That's Craig's guy.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? All he does is create goals and contribute to goals. He did a lovely job of getting this shot off. I thought the first touch was going to betray him, to be honest with you. When it goes down and it bounces around your feet twice, that's usually a chance to get blocked, and instead he curved it right around the defense. But of course, it was a good buildup, as is almost always the case for San Diego FC. I mean, look at that pass right there, just to get things set up. Again, how do you not get that blocked?
Not supposed to do that, Craig. He's not supposed to.
That lankiness in his legs and like
That's it.
takes forever, but
It's literally it's his big old long leg. is the reason why he's able to do that. But Baird, nice job to get it to him. Not an indoor touch there for Pellegrino, but he had enough time outdoors to be able to put that thing in. And all of a sudden, 1-0. Like you said, you think seconds later that it's 2-0. I still am like shocked by that one because it was such a sudden change for it to be offside. It's just, yeah, well, okay, but he was. Fair enough. He's just too far down the field.
If he lets it go, Godoy's right there on side.
Godoy's there.
Is it on Godoy then to say leave it? Déjala.
I think when we were seeing this, it looks like Pellegrino was also offsides. They ended up checking the Dreyer pass, but it looked like Pellegrino was also off.
Yeah.
So I think if Dreyer's out of the equation and it's Godoy that scores it, I think they would have still checked it based on where Pellegrino was. But like, man, you see this, you're like, okay, no goal, but it feels like they're up still. Like you're going into a halftime, tying this game, building momentum. Your goalkeeper was just out. So you're kind of going in with all these emotions at halftime saying, what's going on with CJ? Is he okay? We're tied. We're still in this. Abe, what are your thoughts? I mean, I don't know if you just got back from Oaxaca too. So
I mostly followed this game just through the like score lines and things like that. Then I watched it later on, just seeing the reactions of all this, and then seeing that CJ injury was just so horrible to be checking in on. And then like watching the full game, it definitely felt like more of a real good playoff game. And then bringing on Chucky Lozano in the second half too, I think is a pretty obvious decision that I think we all kind of expected. But at the same time, just with this whole saga of him not playing, and then playing for the Selección and now being selected to come on in the second half, I think it finally like calms things down and kind of just, we don't really have to think or talk about that anymore, even though it's like a huge story. He's scoring goals, he's kissing the badge, which also kissing the badge, Milanowski kissed the badge. So
hey, come on.
Hey, sorry. But
he who shall not be named. We put that ghost to rest.
Sorry. But no, it's a great moment.
You mean he who can't score a penalty this weekend? Got it.
Oh God.
Sorry. I should not have brought him up. But it was a good way to start the second half. Mikey Vadas pressing the right buttons. I think Portland, obviously, if you haven't seen Chucky, they haven't seen Chucky Lozano, right? They didn't. They play no. Yeah, so it's technically smart. Maybe this was all a ploy. Maybe this was all secret. Oh, he got into a fight with they're keeping him secret. Little something to hide in the back pocket to then pull him out here in this moment and then have him score and be an effective strike. Just effective. He was so good in it.
AT chess.
Yeah, look, this is Chucky still proving that he wants a World Cup.
Yes. There's no way he doesn't get called up.
I don't know. Craig, Alex, does Chucky get a call up?
I don't care. That's your guys. That's your guys.
It's all distracting.
You guys get set. You can settle that later. Like I truly don't care if he gets called up, but if he does, I hope he trips on his sneakers and falls over. In the round of 16.
Oh,
Chiva,
come on.
in the round of 16.
I did bring up Milanowski. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
He got me back.
You triggered me. I'm sorry.
No,
I thought we had the whole ceremony on CHROMANIACS 21. We released the ghost, allowed it to sail on to future lands, and now here we are back talking to Losky. But
Dia de los Muertos, he came back.
Yeah.
You honor your dead ones. Come on.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, I think Chucky, kissing the badge, I thought was awesome. I mean, to me, that was like the ultimate sign of this is over. And at this moment, them scoring, I'm thinking this team's going all the way. What a magical moment. You're on the road. First of all, Dreyer, come on.
Dude.
Like,
that goes in. Wow.
What a banger.
The ball's on him. It's just like, yeah, why not? I'm feeling myself.
That was insane. How do you get your leg that high? Like, I was at a party at this time, at a birthday party. And I was just like trying to even imagine the ability to athletically get your leg that high, swing it through like a baseball bat, essentially, and not just either sprain your hip or fall on your face. Like, look at that. That's so crazy athletic. Now it's 2-1. Now the world is our oyster. We're going to sweep Portland. Chucky's back. everyone's rolling. Yeah, Dos Santos is hurt, but Cisniega's in. We're cruising along. But from here, guys, from here, I felt like I probably said, "Oh," like a dozen times before finally in the 88th minute and the 88th try. Well, there's another. I mean, each one of these felt like it was definitely going to go in. And honestly, if in game one they don't get the second yellow for the red, it might have gone like this then too. You know, we had that chance 11v10, Alex, to kind of see that match out. But this time, obviously, Portland had the home crowd. They had Timbers Army behind them. They had the desperation of the moment, but they also had all the chances and really none the other way.
Yeah, and when you look at the first half stats, San Diego FC had the higher XG, expected goal, and that just tells you about the quality of shot. And when you're looking at each shot in the second half that Portland is taking, it's wide left, wide right. They don't take quality shots. That's why I was sitting back. I was very comfortable on my couch. I wasn't too worried. But my issue came when tactically I saw that Mikey Varas was saying 5. I want 5 guys on the back line. And I was like, wait, what? What's going on here? We don't do that. That's not something San Diego does. And I think that's when I started to get worried, because that's when the goal happened. 5 on the back line is fine, but I personally feel like you have to have the right personnel for that. And I don't think we had the right personnel. You took out Godoy, you took out Pilcher, and you brought in McNair, which is okay, but then you brought in Luca, and that's where I had a problem, because he's not good defensively. He's not going to win those aerial duels like that one. He got outrun by his man, and he scored the goal. So that's my issue right there. It's like we didn't have the right personnel. Pedro Soma would have been, I think, better, because the last time we saw like a 5-back line was against LAFC, and Soma made a pretty good clearance, to stop Sun from getting a pass through in the box. So, yeah, that's where I'm kind of shaking my head and trying to figure out what was Mikey Varas doing there.
And this is the lack of experience that Mikey Varas has. Like, let's be realistic. It's his first year being a professional soccer coach. Like, there's gonna be times in critical moments like this where he's gonna have to make those mistakes. Unfortunately, he's not perfect. He's gonna learn from it, or hopefully learn from it. And in the future, if they're in the round 1 of playoffs again, then he knows exactly what he needs to do differently this time. But I agree. I think the substitutions were a little interesting, right? If you're gonna try to park the bus, don't put Luca de la Torre in. If you're gonna really park the bus, then keep Ian Pilcher on there, take out Balakari, and then put in McNair there. And then now you have 5 true defenders with more support in that midfield still. But there's a lot of different moves that I feel like Mikey Varas could have done differently as well. And I think the timing of those things were kind of like, did we need that? Did we need Varson in this game at all? Like, I don't know. You kind of put him.
That was the question I had, was Ingvartsen in particular. And we've talked about him on CHROMANIACS, I feel like, just week after week after week. And at one point, that one point was up at San Jose. It looked like Marcus Ingvartsen was going to be the 9 that was going to step into the starting lineup and be that third prong of the attack. And it's just never happened. He was hurt immediately thereafter. In training, he disappears. He shows up for 8 minutes, in the last game, and then for 18 minutes after that. And now, what did he sub in the 70th minute or somewhere around there? So he was up to around 20-ish minutes, before stoppage. But what's he offering? And isn't it kind of a cover your butt for penalties move to putting Ingvartsen in at that point? Because you're thinking, well, if it does go to pens, we definitely want him to take one of the 5, but we're winning. We don't want it to go to pens. is bringing in Ingvartsen, getting us closer to seeing this match out. I don't think it's a move that's necessarily one I'm criticizing per se. You know, Marcus is supposed to be one of the key players on this team, but at the same time, and maybe this is, you know, jumping ahead a little bit, but I almost feel like I'd rather start him in a match, see if he has anything, see if there's anything to offer, and get him out of there, you know, after the first half or whatever, and get somebody who's younger and more athletic in, or if he can do it, he can do it. But the idea that he's out there at the very end when he really hasn't been showing us anything outside of that one match in San Jose, I don't know. What do you guys think? It's tough for me. That's the one I question.
I think that at the end of the day, it's Mikey's decision to see exactly where he wants to put him. And like he said, right, if we're going to praise him for being honest and right for the most part this entire season, we have to be able to see like, okay, well, yeah, I don't think it's the best for Ingvartsen to be in this position just to see what he has. And if that's the case, then like you said, give him that look in the first half, see what you have. Hey, he goes down on an injury. It's okay. At the end of the day, this was the last game to lose. There's one game that they could have afforded to lose, and it was this at Portland. That's that. And now you're back against the wall. Now, from here on out, it's elimination. It's head to head. It's almost a different ball game because momentum wise, you can argue Portland has it. Portland has the momentum because even in game one, that second half wasn't the best from San Diego FC. They really didn't have the best first half, and that's where it's going to become an issue for San Diego. If they cannot have a complete performance, they're going to lose against Portland because Portland right now, they can go ahead and show you 5 different things. I was looking over at the Coachella Valley Invitational. They lost 3-0 in that, my little makeshift Portland. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But you know,
as we all know historically, how you do at the Coachella Valley Invitational is what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's a different ball game. Like it's one game, and you kind of got a taste and preview of what it looks like if you go all the way to the 90 with the tie, and it is not pretty.
It started off really nice.
Yeah,
because when your two
nice.
DPs have to step up. I love that Dreyer was the first one to kick a penalty. You see it a lot where, you know, your best player goes third or fifth to close it out. No. Go first, set the tone, score the goal, and then now you're on the right foot. Dreyer does that. He steps up. He nails it. Great penalty shot. Then Portland comes up, and they say, we're going to also score it. We're also going to tie it up. Then comes Chucky Lozano. And you're also thinking, okay, who's better at stopping penalties, CJ or Cisniega?
Cisniega.
So
for sure.
I agree. I think Cisniega has more experience and
a bit taller.
And he talks.
He did talk a lot. Yeah, I liked it. And it made me feel a little bit comfortable when, you know, I hate to say it, but I was like, okay, I'm kind of glad we have Cisniega out there. But, you know, that's not what you're supposed to say. You know, you say, you know, you hope Dos Santos is okay and he comes back soon. But I liked it. I mean, I saw a little of, St. Clair. St. Clair was doing the same thing. He was out there. He was telling the ref, hey, you got to move the ball back here. Mm-hmm. Or he talking to the guy. And Cisniega was doing the same thing. I was like, okay, he's got a little bit of the dog in him. I'm like, okay, I like this. And then he did his job. I mean, Cisniega did his job to a T. And it was just our guys that didn't come through.
It made me so sad, Craig. Jeez, it's
you know how hard it is to wait out a guy in the middle and block the penalty.
Yes,
that's the biggest F you as a goalkeeper to a penalty taker.
It's the bravest. It's the bravest thing to stay in place. It's the bravest thing in penalty, and to allow your athleticism when he reaches out with that left paw and one hand. Look how strong you have to be behind the ball to be able to knock that down with one hand and not just have your hand blown back into the net. And he doesn't just save one; he saves 2. You cannot lose a penalty when your keeper saves 2. You have to win every single time. And the only way you lose a situation just like what you've got on the screen there is if you take 3 idiotic penalties in a row. All 3 guys trying to break the back of the net like they're at the All-Star game, trying to shoot the hardest penalty. Put the ball on the net. I mean, Valakari was inexcusable, but Ingvartsen to shoot this ball this way, I mean, how do you even get on the bus, man? That it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And the thing that drives me nuts, and okay, you know, Valde's going to score. Next 2 guys are going to score. Of course they're going to score. Of course they're going to score. It's like 65 to 80% to knock in a penalty. They're going to score. So now Portland knows. They know every last guy knows to the bottom of their cleats. If we're down 1 in the second half, that team over there is going to be so scared. They're going to be so scared because they know they don't know how to defend at the end of the match. They don't know how to drop back and bunker. They're not elite at bunkering and stopping. They don't have their elite shot stopper that they want. That's their organizer in net. He's hurt. We can take it to penalties. And if we take it to penalties, they don't have enough penalty takers. We can outlast them and we can win this in pens. And we'll never have beaten SDFC the entire year in an actual soccer match. But we can beat them back. Yeah, coach, right. But we can beat him in this. We can beat him in the field goal kicking contest, and we can advance and go on to the conference semifinals. It's really, really, really aggravating to see that. And for Ingvartsen not to put it on net was just, why is he here? Why is he here if that ball's not on net? I know it's one athletic play, but like, I'm sorry, you just can't do that. You just can't do that.
You know what Dreyer did, and that volley and that Chucky goal. Doing that is harder than missing a penalty. Like, he got that on target. The problem wasn't that the penalties, like the goalkeeper stepped up for Portland or anything, like they didn't hit the target. That's what's work. I really hope this week Mikey says you cannot leave practice until you make 50 penalties. In basketball, 50 free throws, make them, then you can leave practice. They better score 50 penalties each before leaving practice this whole week.
I mean, you guys want to hear what happened at practice when they were asked about, hey, you guys are taking penalties? Well, this was our
Thursday.
Our pal Darren Smith actually asked Tony Valakari that exact thing.
Doing penalty kicks are a little bit more in focus. How do you enjoy doing the PK drills?
Yeah, I think everybody has their own routine, and it's good to train them sometimes. Obviously, game situation is different when there's different kind of pressure to training. So that's some factor that we're trying also. So we make little bets on the field, like saying to get a little bit of the pressure situation. But yeah, the games are different, but I think everybody just practices their own routine, what they need to do in the game. So then if the situation comes in the game, we're as prepared as possible.
Is there somebody who stands out who maybe we wouldn't identify as an attacking player, as a goal scorer? Somebody who's really good at that?
What I've seen, I think, quite solid PKs we've had from everybody. So hard to say anybody that stands out, and nobody's really. I think everybody wants to take a penalty also. Everybody's confident in it, and yeah.
He laughed first.
There you go.
He laughed knowing that there was somebody that probably does take good PK. That's just, it's so.
Now I'm pissed.
That's so gross.
Who was it?
And then I feel bad also just because like everyone's having these conversations, and I'm sure they're having these conversations and thinking about this. Sure. How much pressure now is on them if this potentially goes to pre-Ks at home?
That's what I'm talking about, Abe. That's what I'm talking about.
It will be in front of Frontera.
Oh, just the insanity that could happen at Snapdragon Stadium on Sunday is just gonna be nuts. In the sun too. It's 12 o'clock game, right? Or 9.
No, it's
No, no, no,
6.
6 o'clock.
No, no,
6:30.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Google's
Sorry.
wrong. Hey, Oaxaca's okay.
Yeah,
Hey, there's
sorry.
Google and Oaxaca.
But no, it's gonna be it just all that. I cannot imagine what it's gonna be like in Mission Valley for whoever those 5 PK takers are. Even like I didn't honestly, Otter's Dreyer's penalties this whole season have kind of given me pause. Like I
Correct.
would put Otter's Dreyer first. So there's just so much pressure, and I think all of those players are going to be trying so insanely hard during this 90 minutes because I think they all understand too
They don't want that.
how much of a pressure filled situation.
You know, the thing is like Mikey's there and he picks the players, but the players also step up and they do say like, oh, like I can shoot this penalty, I can shoot it, and if they're confident enough, the coach is gonna put him. My question is, what were those little bets that they were doing to apply pressure? Man, you gotta put that. You gotta put the leaves of your car or something next time.
I better see like a jackass razor, just kind of like, hey, if you miss, you get a little buzz just on the side. Like every time you just see a bunch of buzz, well, you don't want to see that actually if you're a SanDiego team.
No.
I heard that and I'm like, what the Jonte Porter is going on here? I want to know, can people make micro bets in the middle of a penalty? Yay, nay. Did a bunch of money come nay on Oni Valakari at the very moment before he stepped up? Because if you, whatever bet you're making out on the field, you need to have lost 5 units on that sky ball right there. Like, I mean, again, I understand it's cruel. None of us are out there taking the penalty. It's an incredibly difficult situation. It requires a lot of courage, but you've got to put the ball on net. And trying to smash it is how you miss. And every one of the guys down the stretch tried to smash the ball. And that's just not the way to take a penalty. It's so frustrating. Oni. Oh, well, we make little bets. We make little bets. Well, Portland's going to make a little bet against you, Oni. They're going to try and play for a tie. They're going to play for 0-0 or 1-1 on Sunday night. That's a bleeping guarantee. That's an absolute guarantee. That's what Portland is going to do. That's why the key to Sunday night is 2-0. SDFC has to get the first 2 goals of the match. That's how they're going to win this match. If it's +1, it's going to be butt pucker time, butt pucker city come the 60th minute and all the way through. And Portland knows tie's as good as a win because we're going to get to penalties and those kids are scared out of their shorts.
And
Go
right
ahead.
right now the only positive thing I could say is I saw Seattle take those PKs last week against the Loons, and St. Clair didn't have to do anything, just like Pentemis.
Right.
They were same thing. Right now they're up 3-1 heading into halftime. So it could be nothing, it could be washed off, it could be, it's the next game is Sunday and they could forget all about it and we're talking about a 3-0 win. So
Look,
I feel good that we can get it done in regulation.
Look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and be a little optimistic and positive about things, right? I'm not a fan of shooting penalties myself in turf.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan. I think it's different than shooting it in real grass. I know it's flat. There shouldn't be any excuses, but I'm not a fan of turf. Also, I told you this before the game started, Tony.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be mad if they lose and they get to play another game because there's an international window, and then you'd have to wait 2 weekends, 3 full weeks of really no games or preparing really for much. And now you get an extra game on the weekend and you only have to wait out 1 weekend and you come back in better form. LAFC now gets 2 whole weekends to rest and prepare for the conference semifinals. I'm more of a believer in, get that momentum, keep playing as much as you can. It's different playing an actual game and having that experience than just keep scrimmaging and practicing for 3 whole weeks. So I think pushing it through a third game is only good for the team. Other teams are also going to them, like Inter Miami, who are some of the league favorites, are going to a third game. It looks like Minnesota might go to a third game.
Yeah,
so,
3 upsets this weekend.
So I don't think it's the worst thing. And that's just my 2 cents on
It's
that.
not good. It's not good,
but
though.
it's not the end of the world.
The way it happened is not good, I think. And look, if there's one person I feel bad for, it's Petr Cech over here, and that headgear on Cisniega reminded me of Chelsea's goalkeeper in the 2012 Bayern Champions League final in Bayern Munich. Just penalty god. And for a performance like that to go to the trash can has to suck. And at the end of the day, he needs to go ahead and prepare himself a little bit more now with his feet. We saw immediately after he came in.
Oh my gosh! That moment.
Immediately almost got the ball taken away and ricocheted it and almost rolled into the net.
Yeah,
that would have been fatal for everybody.
Another thing to possibly just keep an eye on, route, is Cisniega.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, aggravates his.
He was listed as a
that he was-
concussion.
that
That's
was
why he's wearing the
cleared.
headgear. Yeah.
Aggravates that. Your other goalkeeper is now
Furry.
SanDiego
Duran.
FC,
I blanked
loyal
on the name.
legend.
SanDiego.
Yeah.
There you go,
Duran.
He's
Loyal.
the healthiest goalkeeper
So-
we have right now.
All right, guys. Well,
I'm just saying, Furry's a great goalkeeper. We've seen him do it
Already
with
wearing
San
the
Diego
sequin.
Loyal. But at the end of the day, in playoffs and a bit on the most important games in the club's history,
Sports are
Your-
awesome, man.
your first ever signing, maybe having to step up.
That'll be
It's-
insane. The
it's
San
something to
Diego
keep an eye
kid,
on.
there's no way that'll happen.
for
Sorry,
penalties.
Hush your mouth, Shiva. I don't want to see
Yeah.
that happen. I want Cisniega to see this thing out all the way to MLS Cup. But I agree with what you said in principle. We even talked about that on episode 21 of CHROMANIACS. Like, do you really want a 3-week break before you get to your next match and maybe lose all the momentum of the playoff? I think it's more important when the other team isn't playing. If it goes as the game is rolling right now and Seattle wins and it goes back to Minnesota for game 3, then I don't think there's a competitive advantage or disadvantage, by going to that third game. My question would be, what's the situation with Luca Bambino? Like,
Yeah.
what's the situation with the nicks and bruises? Because it's one more chance to get injured. And obviously, Dos Santos is a huge injury. Bambino, I think, is also a huge injury if there's a problem that goes forward and you don't know who's the next guy that goes down playing a must-win match and trying to go that extra step, that winds up turning into a soft tissue injury.
Oh, we don't want Negri there? We don't trust Franco Negri, guys? I thought we were.
Sometimes you can trust experience in important games like that. But
Mhm.
Bombino is just a rock star at that
Yeah.
position. Like the pressure really, I feel like it got more to Dua than it did to Bombino this last game.
They were picking on him. You could tell.
That's the game plan. And Tony's talked to us about that, right? Where Portland's gonna go attack the kids, attack the rookies. Like you got to do it, especially having 3 rookies in your back line at a play like for 3 straight games against the same team. It's risky.
It is. And look, that right back position too is just let's talk about a cemetery of health. Is just not getting better anytime soon. The healthiest team will go in, but also the team that's more focused as well. At the end of the game, I don't know if you guys saw, there were some extracurricular activities with Godoy and
Once again,
and Velde. And first of all, is Velde just that villain for SDFC right now? Like, is he just a big bad wolf for SDFC? Because that guy put a performance in. He put a shift in. He was bullying the kids out there in the defensive line. He wanted it. Can he replicate that? Like, you got to stop that guy who's now in form in a one-off playoff match.
Oh man, and we can even get into like who do you want to see start in this match? But I kind of know who I want to end the match is Anibal Godoy being there for like the final 45, just so he can, get his hands, get a good tackle in, make sure that this team can be slowed down a little bit because, yeah, you need that intensity level even at the end of the game, and I kind of want to see him, in the final 45, and maybe that means you're gonna have to start Valakari and Luca in that midfield, and then you sub in the guy that's gonna put some authority into this match. So it was great to see. I do enjoy little things like that because he's into it. He's very passionate. He's always been a passionate person, and man, it's like it brings a little bit more fire to this matchup even though we're, a couple thousand miles away, this is a rivalry. It feels like this is going to be something we're going to be talking about, forever, including this upcoming matchup where, if we win, we're going to be like, oh yeah, remember the day we beat the Timbers to go into the semifinals. If we lose, we're going to be like, damn it, we should have beat the Timbers. And I think, I think this is going to keep growing into a pretty intense battle in the future.
Tell the truth. If we lose, everyone is going to say, there's another San Diego sports
Yes.
team.
Yes.
I don't care about that.
Yes, they will.
That's what they're going to say.
It's the narrative.
Just real talk. That's what it'll be. And so
Hey,
there
Craig,
they
you're
are. They earned their stripes. Now they're one of us. They're a failure.
Hey, Craig, you're living proof that there's no curse. The Sockers, they win.
Damn right
That's
they
true.
do.
That's
yeah.
true. I've got the rings to prove it.
In the continental
hell yeah.
United States, they do.
Yes, right. Well, hey, listen, if you can't beat them, great league rules that eliminate them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was
Wow,
a choice.
there's a lot of things like that happening in America nowadays, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, correct though, right? If they do lose this game on Sunday, is it a failure of a season?
No.
No,
We can't never
It's a
get
failure
into
of a
You call it
playoff.
a disappointment. But
Yeah, there's
like,
disappointment. Yeah, but not a failure. That
Yeah,
you didn't know, like at the very beginning of the season, you didn't know what this is going to be. At best, like I was just hoping for a playoff spot, like the spot that Portland has now. I was hoping for that spot, and like to get this far, it's like, oh, okay, we're the best team in the Western Conference, and we're still playing. We're still in it. We were in it till in round one. So I'm not going to be disappointed. It's something to grow, and continue to grow on for the next few years.
But isn't
You
the
know, our-
expectation now like a championship? You finished
No,
fat
Come
in a row.
on. We're an expansion team.
you don't have a striker.
Well, then
No.
that's why that mentality for San Diego sports exists.
No.
You know how
Well, at
many
least you tried.
like how many times you're going to have a chance to win something in this league? You're going to have Champions Cup, you're going to have Leagues Cup, and you're going to have MLS Cup and a Shield. You have 4 different opportunities to win in this league.
And you have a chance to go play in CONCACAF Champions League. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Look, I can't say this strongly enough. This playoff format is stupid. It's asinine, and the reason you know that in the bottom of your shoes is because it's for money and nothing else. There's 16 teams in the playoffs, and every one of the 16 out of 30 teams has to get a home playoff date because they're selling tickets at playoff rates to make money. And it's good advertising for Apple to have all of this. But it's 3 games in the beginning and 1 when the best teams play. And the only reason for that is expediency. So this is a format built of money and expediency. If it was just expediency, we would have won a 1-game playoff against Portland 2-1. If we played an international 2-leg playoff, we would have won and already advanced, and there never would have been any penalties because Portland would have needed 2 goals at the end. They wouldn't have needed 1. But we're in this dumb ass made for TV plus get me out of the arena. We don't need extra time. Let me get home. Let's go straight to pens. They just threw a spanner in the works. So, I too, like Alex, believe that SDFC is going to win on Sunday. And that's why I said 2-0. I think we have the ability to come out and put 2 on this Portland team. But if it somehow comes the other way and we lose in pens, or we do something, something really unfortunate happens and we lose without pens, it's not a disappointing season. It's just a bummer of a stupid ass playoff where if they were doing any sort of regular format, we would have already won and advanced.
And just to add to that, more than half of this bracket, and it looks like Seattle's going to win and move on. there's going to be 5 matchups this weekend going and playing a game 3, just because that's just how soccer is. It's just going to add another game and, add more advertising, add more money into the Apple ecosystem here. So, I hope no one feels bad that we're playing in a game 3. Other teams are playing in a game 3. Inter Miami, Seattle, it seems like everybody else is playing in a game 3. So we're just one of 10 that are playing this weekend.
In the post match, actually, Pellegrino was kind of candid about himself not knowing what the playoff format was. He thought that it was a point system, and with the second game, it's a tie, and you move forward. Did you not see that?
That
I don't know if that breeds any confidence or
that's insane, because we asked him about the playoff format during midweek availability a couple weeks ago, and he was kind of like, I don't really understand it. You'd think at that point,
this setup is crazy. I don't know all the rules, but it's really cool to be a part of it. So I wasn't sure if it was penalties after we conceded the last game, because I was thinking maybe 1 point will be enough. But yeah, I'm learning every day. Me too. In an age of 35.
is that not a? I mean, at the end of the day,
you got to.
don't you need to know the rules?
Yes, you do. You need to know the playoff rules. You need to know the potential for people. This is like a Mikey. I think this is probably a Mikey Vadas thing, where it's like we're focused on winning the game. This is one thing at a time,
And that's a problem.
these are things that just frustrate me so much in sports, and because it's not just in soccer, but the coach just being like, oh, we're only focused on this. You have to know the circumstances of how you advance to the playoffs. It's a different game now. You have to be thinking about these strategically. How do you not educate all your players, not have a meeting? Okay, guys, we're all new to MLS. This are all of our first years. Let's all explain what happens. Ima Boateng's been here forever. Ima can explain it, and then let him talk. Or it's insane that he doesn't know.
And we don't know that they haven't done that, and Amal just wasn't paying attention.
Maybe it could be that one, and that's just zoning off and not paying attention.
he's a visual learner.
Yeah.
I would just add, and I saw our sore need friend in the chat. I fully understand that traditional playoffs are 2-leg home and away, and I said that. The point I was trying to make, that maybe I just want to drill one more time. You could do a long playoff with 3-game series and 5-game series. You could do a single elimination bracket. You could do 2 legs and do it, which MLS used to do all the way. But they're not doing any one of those things. They're doing this weird mix of 3, then 1. And the 3 is just to guarantee gates. But then the rest of the way, there's no guaranteed gates. It's just higher seed hosts. So it's the combination of the cash grab with the expediency. That's what I think makes it stupid. Either pick a lane is what I'm basically saying. And personally, I'd love it to be home, away, aggregate, away goals, the entire thing. Let's just play the world's game. And when they go to the world schedule in 2 years and they go to the winter spring schedule, I hope they go to the world's playoff format too.
Imagine if it was a single elimination. This would be the conference final this weekend, and then it's an international break, and teams technically would have a rest to get any players that are injured or anything, enough time to recover to play the MLS Cup. Imagine that.
And you don't have to force them into CONCACAF Champions League immediately after the season ends. There's a little bit of a space, a little bit of a break.
And then you could technically now have the choice and say, hey, I don't want all these players to go on international duty because we have MLS Cup. We don't want to risk any injuries. Coaches can do that. And coaches have not sent players because there's an important game coming up after. And we've seen players get injured in international duty. Paddy McNair's one of them, that every time he goes to play with Ireland, he comes back injured. So if that was the scenario, like that would be a dream MLS playoff. Like, great. Thank you for keeping it amazing like that. But that's not the case. And now they're going to play a game 3 of round 1 this weekend.
I'm tired of Portland.
And I agree with you,
Take it away.
Craig and Alex. I think San Diego FC is going to win this weekend. I think they're going to come on hard and they're going to win 4-2 or something like that. Kind of like that last game of the season. They're going to like just make a statement and say, yeah, no, we're still the best in the West. And we're going to prove it by like scoring 4 goals in this game.
I could see that. That's definitely a place that can happen. But a well-coached team, even in the slightest, with which is what we saw with Portland, they switched into a 4-3-3 out of nowhere. Something that they've kind of been not playing at all. Like it was a completely different Portland team that came out. That's Portland up at home, Providence Park, plus 200 attack and defense with this magic field spell on the field. But this is a different game, and San Diego last time out was successful at home. And I think that's one thing that I think San Diego fans can be very, very happy with, is that last time out they were able to win at Snapdragon. Had they not been able to win, they won at Providence Park and you bring it back home, then it's the questions like, can they win at home? They haven't won at home since Nashville, but no, they've won a playoff game. They know what it's like. They know the environment. Portland knows the environment. SDFC knows the environment. That this is in SDFC's hands. Their destiny is in their hands.
It's a similar scenario that Portland had this weekend. They had their home crowd. They had the momentum going on their side. The soccer gods are not cruel all of the time. And, it's almost when you say like Portland deserved that tie. For all those chances they created, they deserved that tie, and it happened at the last minute. It's a miracle in soccer. We love to see that happen. It doesn't feel nice when it's against a team that you're kind of like covering and supporting. But then you're like, okay, penalties, and let's see what happens now. And that doesn't happen. Like now it's in San Diego's side. So
this is what sports are all about, man. Winner take all. One last moment. Showdown. You guys have been facing these guys for so many weeks now. They're all sick of each other. They're all going to fight within the first 5 minutes. If someone doesn't they're going to be so pushy and annoying for that first 5. It's just going to be just absolute nonsense. And then if Portland's ahead, if it's tied, I can't imagine the antics that are going to be taking place. But it's just, this is what soccer's all about. This is what sports are all about. I'm excited for this weekend. This is without question the biggest match in San Diego City history. And
yeah.
And I want to go. I want to say that to go even further and say this could possibly, even though this is the first round, this could possibly be one of the biggest playoff matches in soccer, in outdoor soccer history. Even more than the Wave versus Oil Rain game, just because of how much passion and anger there is between all parties.
I hope it goes better than that game too.
Yeah, but that's yes, 100%. But this is the point with that you're making too, is that I would like to see a clean game. Sure, let me be passionate, but if there's one thing that San Diego FC cannot lose in, is the focus game, the mental aspect. Don't let yourself go into indiscipline, and that's where I see Aníbal Godoy kind of. They did get in his head. I like that passion, right, Alex? But it's that very thin line of, if you do that mid-game, if you start him, get an early yellow card in the 20th minute, now you have 80 minutes to go with added time with, being careful, playing on eggshells. No, you need Aníbal to be just cracking people left and right. Do it in a smart way, but also, again, that indiscipline. If they got to Manudua up there, trust me, they're going to be poking him at the sides, and that's one of the keys to this Portland game. And what else do you guys see being a key to this game in order to get that 2-0? What things need to happen for San Diego FC to make sure that they control their own destiny?
Well, I think that, and we'll talk about it more on CHROMANIACS 22, and we can get into the lineup. But I'll say as kind of a parting shot, I understand why they're doing the substitution patterns the way they are from the standpoint of player usage, but I don't think, and Alex made this point, I'd like to reiterate it, I don't think Luca Della Torre is a real defending midfielder that at the end of a match I want out there up by 1. I feel like the reason you'd bring him into a game late is because you're trailing. And you want him to act, or you're tied and you want him to activate the offense and be creative going forward. When you're ahead and you're subbing in Luca de la Torre, that doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather start Luca de la Torre, hope to get the lead, and bring in Anibal Godoy as the hammer to close things out. That's a logical procession for me. When it's reversed, I feel like you're hoping for things to happen. You're hoping for Godoy to be creative and not pick up a yellow, and then you're hoping for de la Torre not to crap the bed defensively. And that's why I'm back to Ingvartsen as well. I'd rather have Ingvartsen try to create a goal in the first 30 minutes, come out of the game. Maybe you start Chucky and you bring in Pellegrino at that point, and then you give it's Baird that tries to close things out, and I'd feel a lot more comfortable with his athleticism out there trying to close a match out than I would. And we're worried about penalties. Sorry, Marcus, you lost that card. You shot it into the top deck at Providence Park. I think it rattled around one of those troughs that you guys were trying to pee into over by the supporters section, like how high you shot that ball. So I'm not worried about you taking a penalty, bruv. Like, start the game, try and score me a goal, and then get the heck off the field, and let me have someone athletic to close the match out when it's done. So those would be the things I'd be looking for, is just let's be ruthless, and Mikey's been that way. I really do trust him, but now is not the time to go Mike Schilt and be like, well, this is our starting lineup. We're just going to have to dance with them that brought us, guys. We're going to just keep them out there that way. No, do the most effective thing possible.
Talk about Voldemort. He who shall not be named. That is comparing Mikey Vadas to Mike Schill is.
That's the meanest thing you've ever said about, or even comparing to Mikey
It
Vadas.
is. But I said I hope he doesn't. I'm not saying he is. It's not a comparison. It's a please don't do this.
In the same sentence, it's weird.
I understand. It's fair.
More like Albert Pujols or something.
Huh? I don't know what Pujols would say.
And I think I agree with Craig, but I'll take it a step further. It's either you start Ingvartsen or you don't play him at all. And because I think I saw in the 15 minutes we got to see it, I think we can start a front line that will be Pellegrino, Dreyer, and Chucky, and I think that could do just fine for a half, and you kind of work it out and see how that works for the first 45 minutes, because it worked. Chucky can play on the right side. He has done it before, and I wouldn't mind seeing it, and putting I think that's going to be your best front three out there. And I think if you're looking for goals and looking to score early, why not have your best scoring threat out there to start this match?
I agree with you. He's got to do something different and approach this game a different way. And that's that's the top that you need to have. You need to have Pellegrini on the left. Can't believe I'm saying that. Chucky on the right, and then Dreyer has to be your false nine or your number 9, at least for the first 45 minutes. And then you kind of, depending on how it goes, you kind of move it around. I agree as well with starting Luca de la Torre over Godoy for this match. And then if you're up, then you throw in Godoy as well to add to that defensive aspect of it. I don't know if Valakari starts, but I think he kind of has to at this point. Unless you start Godoy and you bench Valakari, then that's kind of like, okay, Mikey, you're not playing around. But the back line is going to be important if Bombino's available. Like, that's going to be a huge component on that back line.
Well, I mean, sounds like nobody knows what the starting 11 can actually like be, which isn't necessarily comforting, I would say, but there's a lot of options. Which is on the other side of it. There's good options. There's things to work on. Will Mikey Vadas do that? One option he's not going to have is CJ Dos Santos, obviously. Bombino, we'll see what kind of condition he's in. That midfield has to go ahead and work.
And let's not forget, like, there's no need to panic. You didn't lose that game in 90.
Technically, no.
You tied that game.
That game, that's fine.
So you technically, like Craig, you said earlier, you haven't lost to this Portland team. So I don't think it's a time to panic. I think it's a time to just say, okay, we just have to play them one more game, which is unusual, right? 4 games. But yeah, like I think San Diego's in a good spot.
2-0. 2-0. Get the first goal, get the next goal. You get up 2-0, then we're just going to remember the words of Alex Pena. These are the guys who can't shoot straight. We're going to see them pressure the net over and over again and miss wide. And we're going to do the, and it'll be a workout for the heart, but they'll win the match. Just do not let this be 0-0 in the 75th minute. And SDFC is panicking and Portland is laughing, saying, guys, we're 20 minutes away from putting these guys in a position that they do not want to be in. That's the only thing about this match. We know what Portland knows, right? We know what's going to make them excited. So you just can't give them that path. That's what 2-0 is all about. Don't give them the path to get excited.
I've also heard through a couple sources that and this hopefully is not a 12th man thing for Portland or, for anybody really. Hopefully it's not the show stealer. New turf and sod at Snapdragon. So
good.
Maybe. I think it's been in great condition. So
it's been wonderful.
Yeah, SDSU just had their homecoming and record-breaking crowd probably this season. But
they got like 10,000 fans on there. That's nice.
14,000 returns now. What was it?
No, I think they announced like upwards of 20K.
Wow,
announced.
Wow, they opened.
They actually have to say their gate attendance though because
they do. It's a hilarious little state school. Thing that they get screwed over on every time.
Every single article there's like, here's the announced attendance, parentheses, here's the real gate attendance. And then you're just
I just opened up the San Diego Union Tribune website, and the literal lead story from Mark Ziegler is Wyoming coach calls out San Diego State's football attendance issues. So it was 17,109 was the in-house attendance. They announced 24,325. It's very simple to say that it's actually not a fair comparison. Is that's the last thing I say. I know you guys are going to move on and get to wave and everything else, but San Diego State plays Mountain West Conference teams. They play teams in the low 100s, Wyoming and Fresno and Reno, Nevada. Oh, but wait till Boise State gets to town. You got to come see Boise State. And you know what happens if you win the whole kit and caboodle? Well, like 1 out of 1,000 times you'll get to qualify for the college football playoff, be the number 12 seed and lose by 55 points, but you'll get some money. So that'll be great. Every other time you go to the Armed Forces Bowl or the Idaho Potato Bowl or the whatever they've renamed the thing in New Mexico Bowl, the Sun Bowl, like they go to some shitty 5th tier bowl game. So whereas Alex was like, well, hey, you get 4 chances to win in MLS. If you're a San Diego State football fan, you get 8 chances to pay to watch your team play a top 200 team and with the grand prize of going and getting the Potato Bowl. So we can win the championship in MLS. 35,000 should show up on Sunday to see this match. This city right now should go SDFC ape crazy all the way until they win the MLS Cup here. And honestly, there's just no comparison. SDSU football is just a thing that exists, and all the praise to Sean Lewis and the program for beating up on Reno, but that's what Brady Hoke did. That's what Rocky Long did. It doesn't matter. You're playing the 5th tier. It's like if we were down in the below where the Loyal were. Playing it, if we're playing Albion's schedule, be like, okay, you beat the team at the Sacramento High School. Woo, good for you.
Yeah. Having grown up in San Diego my whole life and watching San Diego State football, I definitely had that a little bit of that inferiority complex. They're pretty good. They can run the ball. They have some chances. And then I went to school at the University of Oregon and I saw what real football looked like. And I was here we go. Oh,
yeah.
That's not what I was watching back home in Mission Valley. This is a completely different sport. It's quite insane.
And before we move on to whatever, you got me curious and just looked up San Diego State football schedule, and they have a home match at Snapdragon on Saturday the 22nd, and that's conference semifinal weekend. So that means San Diego FC would have to play either that Friday or that Sunday. After a San Diego State football game.
Yeah,
It's going to be Sunday if we get there. Yes. If and
New
when.
sod. They'll have another new sod ready.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope San Diego FC would pay for them to do that, like overnight.
Oh, I think they would.
I think so too.
Isn't this lovely, guys? Being able to just talk soccer.
Yeah.
And just good.
Just randomly rip San Diego State or Oregon or what? College football is the most corrupt sport in the world. Oregon's probably paying their third string linebacker $185,000.
Yeah, he should be. Okay, Phil Knight has the money. What is Phil Knight supposed to do? Just leave it. Let him spend the money. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, and you know what else? When Oregon plays against, Nevada, Reno, or they never would. They would never stoop to that level. They would never stoop to that. Okay, but when they play Oregon State, there's like 25 kids on the bottom of the roster that aren't getting paid for the Beavers that are just going to place micro bets against themselves on DraftKings and parlay it so that they can finally get the paycheck that all the kids in Oregon get. And that's exactly what college football is. It's just a rampant swamp of corruption, cash pay for play, billionaires and shoe magnates determining who's going to get scholarships, and all the kids who don't get paid put DraftKings on their phone and micro bet against their buddies and make them nut that way. Please enjoy our ridiculous sport.
Depends on the state. Depends on the state. It could be
betting?
Price Picks. It could be DraftKings. You never know.
That's a great point. Could be underdog.
Since they caught the whole NBA thing, those parlays are hitting now.
Hey, you guys said DraftKings. Shout out Yaya Boa. Allegedly. Allegedly.
One-time alleged target of San Diego FC in the expansion draft. They were actually in going to do that. So good job, Tyler.
In soccer, in Price Picks, you can bet how many shots on target a player has, the over/under. You're telling me if you're an attacking player, you're not going to be like, I'm going to shoot the ball at least 3 times tonight. Over.
Yeah, I don't know who the person is in the comment that says, can't base. Have you followed any of the news? This is a story.
You can place bets on whatever you want these days.
You can 100% place bets.
Basketball in Turkey.
Yes.
Oh, you can bet
on these platforms. You can bet everything. You can bet on literally the tight end for the number 58 team, whether he's going to catch 4 balls or he's going to catch 3. And you've got to know that kids are doing this all the time. It's just when the mob gets involved and someone throws $200K on a Jonte Porter to go under, 9 minutes or whatever, that that is caught. Yeah, but if Johnny and Freddie are betting $50 through their friends in the dorm, if they're betting $150 with their friends through the dorm, they're not getting caught. And they're subtly manipulating these games along the way. Anyways, I digress. That's just not happening in MLS. I made the joke about Oni Valakari and the micro bets, but that's why, because college football is a corrupt, absolute swamp, and Oregon is just an absolute evil villain purveyor of that, with their 75,000 uniforms and their billionaire shoe magnate paying players while the kids on Oregon State have to cheat and do micro bets. And meanwhile, we can beat Nevada, Reno, and better show up against Boise State, guys. All right. Let's all get out there on Sunday and let's go SDFC. Vamos SDFC.
I love that. Craig, Alex, let everybody know where they can find you outside of this Thursday on CHROMANIACS on this very channel.
All right. Well, for myself, Padres Hot Tub is a show that we just recorded that'll be out tomorrow morning alongside 2 balls and a mic. Patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub if you'd like to be part of our community and support. It's a great place, and we do bonus shows. I'm like in my 5th hour of recording right now. we did 2 shows back to back right into this, which is super sick and enjoyable. Also, CHROMANIACS, of course, with myself and Tony and Alex. We'll be recording episode number 22 on Thursday evening. You can find us everywhere you find this show as well. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and on any podcast platform. I also host Crossing Streams with Chris Reed, former actor from Sons of Anarchy, and other friends, talking about all of the streaming television. Episode 258 of that. We're not quite to 301, but maybe I'll try and go double time to catch you. But that was reviewing season 3 of The Diplomat, which, if you've seen that on Netflix, is an amazing show. So you can check out that and more. Find Crossing Streams wherever you find this and everything else. And that's it for me. How about you, Alex? Oh, is he?
You can check everything Alex does
Yeah,
again.
no, he's-
He did.
Oh, dang.
Immediately.
I'm the John
was
Travolta
Crossing
meme now. It's just, where'd he go?
I
Jeez.
listened to the Crossing Stream episodes the other day once I was finishing some of the shows. It's a great evergreen podcast. And when you watch, you don't have to watch it when it comes out. If you watch a show later on, you can go back and then find out what Craig thought about it. It's really fun. They
true.
dissect it. They dissect a lot of different shows in a lot of different ways. I disagreed with Craig very heavily on the Peacemaker season finale, but I enjoyed hearing him give his take on it.
I love it. Well, there you go. And you can always write us at crossingstreamstvpodcast@gmail.com and give us your ideas and thoughts, and we'll read them on an upcoming show. But thank you guys. It's always great to be here, and we'll be back Thursday. And this part of the show, I'm sure, will be going on the CHROMANIACS feed as well. So looking forward to it, and enjoy the rest of the show. And vamos wave. And oh my gosh, I'll just tell this story on the way out. I absolutely love her. G Mendoza is she runs match day for Wave, and she's the person I work alongside at Wave. And at the last match, when they won and ran roughshod, right, and scored 6 goals, I was looking at things, and I was like, hang on a second, like, well, hang on, but now Portland, okay, Seattle. Oh, wait a second, they play each other. As long as San Diego Wave wins, they're going to play at home in the first round. And she looks at me and she's like, I'm going to be in Costa Rica. It's my girlfriend's birthday, and I got a trip. And she's going to be in Costa Rica. And so I think she was the one Wave employee that was not rooting for 1-0 to be seen out in Kansas City on Sunday afternoon. But there'll be a Wave watch party, 12 o'clock at Novo Brazil in Mission Valley, I think.
Mission Valley.
And I will be hosting that watch party for Wave on Sunday, and then going straight. I'm going to have the CHROMANIAC suit in the car to drive to a trolley stop to get to the match. So
We need to hire a documentary crew that follows people like you and us, so like just going through town and was like, oh no, I've just switched into this, then soccer, then this, for you baseball, or
right.
U.S. Open Cup. Like it's incredible, but
it's gonna be a huge Sunday.
Huge.
San Diego. Yeah.
What a Sunday. The one day I'm going to just absolutely hate Portland. I support the city and everything it's going through every other day, but Sunday, Portland, you suck. I hate you. Hope you lose everything. I hope you lose it all. All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much.